Hey, Coach, so glad you found us on YouTube. I have been coaching for 30 years, so I know how many great resources there are out there. I tried to bring them together at teachhoops.com. Let me help you become a better basketball coach. All sorts of great resources on there. And even the best part is the community, the one-on-one calls with me, office hours, you name it. You know, I've been there. You can see behind all the balls. You can see a couple of my players have played in the NBA. I am here to help. I am here to serve. So go over and check it out. Click above, down below, teachhoops.com. Enjoy the video.
Coach, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hey.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you? Hold on a second.
All right.
Thank you very much. And just so I can actually take this downstairs.
Good.
Kids
Okay.
are trying to go to sleep. And I know, trying to get young ones to sleep is not easy.
Yes, that is
So-
true. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Do you remember those days?
So thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much for taking the time today. I
Yeah,
appreciate
no
it.
problem.
I'll give you a little on what's going on.
Okay.
And then maybe you can help direct me if you don't mind.
Yep.
I'm an assistant coach right now for a high school in Southern Connecticut.
Okay.
It's a Class L school. Probably about 2,000 kids in the school and 1,000 boys in the school. And
Okay.
I got a notification from one of my either friends or somebody in the district that said the 2 town over neighboring town just let go of their coach. Now this
Okay.
guy won coach of the year. This guy won coach of the year in the conference 2 years ago. And yeah, I mean, that was my response. He went 9. I think what happened was there's a lot of parent issues that we're dealing with in
Right.
our neck of the woods.
Yep.
You have a very affluent towns with a lot of resources and a lot of money. And it was my understanding that he either had an issue with the parent. We played against them last year. They were very heavily senior. They were heavily senior laden,
Right.
but some of their captains they got hurt in different times of the year, and he played freshmen. At times, he had 3 freshmen on the field, on the court. So I think
They better be really good freshmen if you're doing that.
right. I mean, they're good. They're good. Yeah, they're good. But I think he took a lot of heat from some of the junior and sophomore parents.
Yep.
And he got an email applying for the job, saying that I was going to get a call, hopefully within the this is in June, for about
Right.
2 or 3 weeks to interview. I didn't hear until 2 days ago. I think there were issues. They were trying to reinstate him. It was a whole coup that was going on in the school. I don't need to bore you with the details, but so what we have. So I have my interview coming up Tuesday. I'm meeting
Okay.
with the AD.
Okay.
I'm meeting with one of the assistant principals, and I'm meeting with 2 captains. Which, I guess my first question to you is, walking into a situation where there's already the captains announced, but also these 2 captains. I mean, I scouted them. I know their team well. I've done a ton of research on it. I've talked to former players. Like, I've done my research on this. The thing a couple things, but one of the things that concern me is that these 2 guys did not play as juniors. One played JV, because in Connecticut you can play JV as a junior.
Yeah.
And the other, they just didn't. I watched 4 or 5 games from them last year. I didn't see any time where they have varsity minutes at all. So we have 2 captains that were team nominated that have not played, that are now with a coach who was coach of the year 2 years ago, who got dismissed because he didn't play upperclassmen, or he had some recruiting violation, I heard, but I think it was more parent issues. And now we have 3 freshmen, and saw a couple of their summer games, and the freshmen can play. the sophomores now, the rising sophomores, they can play. So
You sure you want this job?
I don't know. It's funny because I have a 7th grader who plays in the town that I coach in now.
Right.
And there's a lot of flexibility that I have coach being in listen, moving 6 inches to the left changes everything.
It does. So this is somebody outside that doesn't know any dynamics are going on, anything like that. I would still do the interview. Can't hurt to do the interview.
Yeah.
I'd be brutally honest. Like,
you wouldn't take the job.
I wouldn't. I mean, it feels bad to me at this point. Like, the red flags are going up. First of all, that those 2 kids are in the meeting is a pretty big red flag. If I went and did the interview, I'd say, hey, just so you know, there are no captains on this team. I will play the best 5 players. There's not going to be no politics. I mean, because then they won't offer you the job if.
Well, this is my question. So I played 3 sports in high school.
Right.
I was a quarterback of my high school football team. My junior year, I had a coach change, and I was in the interview process to hire my coach my senior year. Are you surprised they're in the interview process? I'm
not surprised they're in the interview process. If they're literally captains and they didn't play. First of all, who named them? My first question is,
that was my first
captains.
And I asked,
was it the former coach, or was it the 2 people in this room with you, the assistant and the AD? That was the first thing. Okay,
well, that's an interesting question because I talked to a former player who graduated, who now plays baseball at Duke, who played for them, who said to me, how are the captains' names? He said the team picked the captains. Now, traditionally, it was a big deal. We had a junior captain this year.
Yeah.
He was a second team an all FCAC player.
Why aren't there parents in this meeting?
It's a great question. I don't know.
Okay. And usually kids aren't in the initial meeting. So that does surprise me. It would be in a follow-up meeting that the kids would be there and parents, and maybe you run a practice or do something like that.
I don't love the initial conversation with when they brought up who I was meeting with, and it said do I have, again, it depends on if I really want the job or not, but does it make sense to have a new coach come in and have inherited or incumbent captains?
No. And the thing is, I don't care where you are, this is not good that they're hiring now.
Oh, I know that. No, it was. Let me tell you what happened. What happened was in June, right? The job opened up. I got a reply 2 days. I have a portfolio. I have my research done. I have a portfolio. I've listened to all your stuff on it.
Right.
I have everything from the 4-step process. I mean, everything that needs to get done. Right.
Okay.
So I got the email I got a response 2 weeks later, and then they went silent. So I think, first of all, he's an African-American, the guy who left. I think there were some legal issues that were associated with firing.
Yeah.
I think half the parents were like, we're not coming, we're not playing, we're not having our kids play if this guy's doesn't come back. Because I think it was 1 or 2 parents that were, again, you're playing 3 freshmen,
Right. So again, it wouldn't hurt to go through the interview, to be honest with you. Nothing hurts. You never have to take the job. That's kind of my theory. I would go in blazing. Like, what's going to make it? What makes it that I'm going to be gone in a week? I mean, that would be my issue.
So you would go in there and not you wouldn't worry about
because if what I say is going to irritate them, we're not going to work. Like, this is the way it's going to be. This is how parents are going to communicate with me. Blah 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 blah. How long was the coach there?
He was there 7 years.
Okay, so he was there a while. So it wasn't like one and done. So I'd go in blazing. I'd go in. This is the way this program's going to work. We're going to do this, and da 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 da. And parents are going to be parents, and players are going to be players, and coaches are going to be coaches. And I would hope I would have the support of the two people sitting in this room, because we're going to do it the right way, and we're going to blah blah blah. I mean, I would, because if that rubs them the wrong way, they won't offer you the job.
They won't offer me the job.
Right.
But if it rubs them the wrong way.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm missing.
So here's my theory: is I think you have to go in and say, this is. I mean, because my concern would be that you'll be sitting in the same seat in a year or two. You'll piss off the wrong parents. Those parents will be sitting in their offices, and they'll cave.
I'm not worried about. First of all, I'm not worried about getting fired.
Okay.
I own my own business. Like, the money is important, but I'm not like, I do this because I love coaching basketball.
Okay.
Like, I don't really care if I'm going to do things the way I want to do.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
This isn't. But at the same. This school has won national championships in high school in lacrosse.
Right.
And had a huge football presence. Like, there are athletes in the school. Like, you can win there.
Okay.
Right? It's a circus right now. It's a
right.
complete
So that's where I think you got to go in and figure out, this is not going to be a circus if we're going to turn this thing around. That's what I'm saying is, like, I think
I totally agree with you.
You have to go in. This is what I'm saying. It's not like going blazing. I'm just saying, this is what my philosophy is. This is how I'm going to do it. But you're not going to sugarcoat anything.
Okay.
Because
so this is the everything, all of that makes sense. And I wouldn't sugarcoat it. I'm not trying to put on a front of, you're going to play because you're my captain. Like, I get that.
Right.
The question I have, though, is, for me, like, two seniors. Now, they only have the only seniors that they only have two returning seniors. Okay. So both of them were named captain. Everyone else is not. There's only two seniors on the team next year. So they were both captain.
So here's what I would do. At some point in the interview, they'll ask you, do you have any questions? I would look at both of those boys and say, hey, let's foreshadow, and let's say you're not playing. How will that go over? Or, I mean, I think you got to throw it out there in the interview, because it's like, because the other two people in the room that are your bosses need to hear it. It's like, I'm not guaranteeing you to anything. If you're good enough, I will play you. If you can help the team, I will play you. But just because you're a senior does not mean I'm going to play you. You can still be a leader. You can still probably be on the team. I don't know how deep the team is, whatever it is. But, I mean, that's
okay. I find it so odd that the team voted two non-playing. I mean, they only have,
but that's a popularity contest thing. I don't name captains. It's a popularity contest.
And the fact that they're the only two seniors, right? Yep. I mean,
it's like the parents thinking that you're a senior, they get to play now. It's like, well, I don't care if there's a fourth grader, if they're good enough, I'm going to play them.
Right.
I don't care.
Right. Okay.
I mean,
okay.
So I think you have to have questions ready for the administration about how will this be different with me? How will you handle parents that complain?
So you think bringing up the situation that happened?
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I don't think you hide from that. That's what I was saying. I think you put all your cards on the table with those kids and with the administration. My biggest two concerns would be, oh my God, I have two seniors that think they're going to play. That could be a miserable year trying to get through that. And the second thing is, oh my God, do I have an administration that's going to support me when the parents complain? So that's what I was talking about before. I think you got to put all those cards on the table. And if they don't like those cards, they won't hire you.
Right.
If they don't like those conversations, but those are the conversations you have to have. And then I think you circle back at the end and say, these are the honest conversations I'm going to have with all my kids. I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to be honest with you. And this is the way I run it. And if this is going to work, I think honesty and communication is the key. To be honest with you, I think most things are lack of communication. To be honest with you, in coaching, most breakdowns are lack of communication.
Right.
Parents will, if you're communicating. Now, there's exceptions to the rule. People have been fired, whatever. I get that. but most of it is these coaches try to like put themselves in this little cocoon and not deal with the world. And my theory is you confront it. It's like,
Okay, so if I go in there and I say to them, because there isn't a lot of transparency about what happened with this coach. Do I deserve to know what happened with my predecessor?
I don't know if you deserve to know exactly what happens, and I'm not sure they can say that to you because it's a whole hiring thing. But I think you can say, because they'll ask if you have questions, that you can say, hey, what are you going to do when a parent comes into your office and they want me fired because their kid's not playing? How are you going to handle that? Like, I mean, because
as direct as that.
I mean, I would, in this situation, I would be, I mean, I think you gotta, I mean, I don't think you want to walk into it because they're not going to expect that question either. I'm telling you, they're not going to expect it.
It's interesting. My thought was I have questions. I have questions about how do do I have the right to pick my assistants? What is the relationship between the head coach and the youth program? What is the I have them written down. I have a ton of questions. Like the way I thought about it was go in there and be a salesman.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. You want the job. Yeah.
Get the job. And then when you get the job, sit there and say to them, okay, before I accept the job, I want to understand, like, you know what I mean? Like I'd rather be able to turn down something that I have that I can't turn down something I don't have. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I get that. That's another way to go about it. You can go get it and then do it. But I mean, you're not going to have those kids in that next meeting.
Well, I think the question to the kids would be, the thought I had was, okay, you guys have played for the same guy for the last 3 years. You have 1 year, right? You're not looking at this as a building process. You have me for 1 year. Like, what do you expect? What do you want from this, right? Like, are you looking to play 28 minutes a game? Okay. Are you looking to be great leaders? Like, I know I've watched 5 games. I haven't, to be honest with you guys, from my understanding, I don't think you guys got a lot of varsity minutes. Like, what are your expectations now?
Those are good questions. Season? I think that's a great way to word it. So to me, and I have no problem with that, but I think you're not going to have those kids in that next conversation.
Right. No, I hear you. I appreciate, like, you've been doing this forever. Like,
right.
Like, it's your way or the highway. You know what I mean? It's your way or the highway. I've won no games in the big
right.
City. You know what I mean?
No, and I get that. I just, whenever people walk into a situation like this, I said, you just don't, I mean, there's a reason this job's open.
No, there is. But I think he was, it's interesting. This guy, he turned that program around.
Right.
He turned that program around. Like,
and they got rid of him.
And they got rid of him.
It's different when I step down. Like, when I step down, I'm going to do it probably on my own terms. And that whoever comes into that job, it's a totally different gig.
Yeah, it's the two guys that will make a difference. It won't be. You don't want to be the guy following the guy.
But it won't be like, oh, they fired Collins. It's more like you're coming in. This is, yeah. And is it normal for the assistant and the AD to be in the hiring process?
Assistant principal.
Assistant principal and the AD, so both of them.
Yeah, both. Is it normal? I don't know.
I mean, usually, and are there more interviews with other people?
You know what? I'm not. It's been, the AD is. This is what happened when I reached out to him twice or 3 times when I didn't hear back after he initially told me he was going to call me in 3 weeks saying, is the job still open? I haven't heard anything. And he didn't respond for a month. I think there were some real, like, legal issues around the exodus of the other guy.
Yeah.
So I guess
this is going to be a hard transition for you if you get it and take it.
It will be, right?
Because, I mean, literally you got like 40 days.
I know. I know,
And
and
you're not going to be able. I mean, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be hard to
it's
build
gonna be hard.
relationships with the kids in 40 days. Hell,
And I'm not in the
you're
school,
a foreigner,
and I'm not in the school, and
right?
I know how you feel about people, coaches not in the school too. So it's it is
And I
it's
think you have the right questions.
there's a lot of convenience to the. You
I
think I
think
did?
you're right on the questions. Is can I hire my assistants? How can summer camp work? How does the youth work? You know, and then and if they do offer, I'd be very honest. It's like, just so you realize you're offering me this job a month and a half or a month before the season starts. We're treading water here until we can get to spring. Like,
We,
I'm
we,
going to try to win every game I can, but you didn't give me the opportunity to build a program at this point. That starts in the spring.
I mean, our tryouts are November 30th. We start late here in Connecticut.
Okay.
But I mean, I have I mean, it's gonna be a challenge. It's gonna be a challenge. But my biggest concern is
Firing a staff is going to be a problem.
well, the staff's a concern. The staff's a huge concern for me, and I have a great relationship with my head coach. And like, people don't really understand, like, again, it's moving those 6 inches over. How important that assistant coach relationship. I mean, I was listening to one of your podcasts.
Well, I was talking at a clinic the other day, and I was telling these coaches, you need 3 types of coaches on your bench. You need a Yoda, which is somebody that's been through it. I have one that was a head coach when I was a kid. So you need that, like, wise person. You need the workhorse, like the Clydesdale, that will just go do everything you need him to do that you don't want to do. And then you need the person that's going to question everything that you do. Literally, like, they have to be loyal, but they'll question. They like, why are you doing that? X and O question guy. Those are the 3 guys you need on your staff. If you're going to have like a staff up here, you need all 3 of those. Now, some of them can be in one person, but you can have the Yoda and the workhorse in the same person, but you need those 3 personalities to have a successful staff. And that is not easy. I've had 2 of them. Yeah.
I mean, I really think that with this, if it happens, and for whatever reason, it's something I decide to move forward with, I got to play a lot of guys. Like, if you have 2 juniors that haven't, like, I have to figure out a way to get them. If they're captains, like, that's the whole thing. That's the thing I'm not sure how to deal with, is if they stink, I can't take this job. I mean, it'll be if the 2 kids stink, and they're sitting there and they're MFing me on the bench because they're not playing, and like, I'm there for long term. Like, I got to figure out a way to get them. They may not have to play a lot of minutes, but they better be playing quality minutes, whether it's through a pressing unit or whether it's through a special situation unit or something. Right? I got to figure because you can't have 2 captains sitting, and I don't know why they sat. Like, that's the thing I don't understand, is why did they sit?
Have you seen them play?
Yeah, I did. I saw one of them play JV, because I saw one of them play JV. He was 6'2", 140. Okay, that is a tough kid, but he's 6'2", 140. I mean,
right.
That the other kid is a bigger kid, but I watched them play a summer league game, and they have athletes. They have 4 or 5. They can run like a nice 4 out, 1 in, react.
Well, just like I've always said, you and I can play on the Bucks with Giannis as long as the other 4 guys are good. You can always put a 5th guy out there. I
mean, there's stuff that they can play. They're tough kids. They're not afraid to defend. Like, they can play. And there's
will your kids go to that school?
No. Which is also another, no, they won't. I mean, this district, see, this is the thing. I want the head coaching job in my town. I want the job in my town. The problem I have with the job in my town is the guy's been there for 13 years. He's a phys ed teacher in the school. He probably has a 400 record. The AD doesn't have a lot of couillons, right? Like,
right.
And
so that's going to get hard as your kids get older.
Well, you coach your kid now.
I do.
right? You coach your kid now, and you know, I give myself. I think I'm a. I think that for someone who's as inexperienced as I am, although I have a little bit more life experience, I can coach basketball. I have confidence in myself there. I'm really not good with my kid. I'm not good with my kid at all. It's a big problem,
Okay.
you know.
So
And
then you don't want to do that. So that's good. I mean, it's going to be more being able to
it's
watch
just a
them and
problem.
support them.
Well,
'Cause you're going to be at different spots.
I mean, he's really, to be honest with you, my son Jake, he's a baseball player first, basketball player second.
Okay.
So I'm not so concerned about it. But I almost want to go away to come back.
Right.
You know, like now I'm a guy who I'm a dad, and I'm a guy who worked with the Fab Five, who coached a couple years in high school after college. Like, I want to go away, earn some respect.
Well, to get your first job, it's easier to get a job when you got a job. That is true.
It's easier to get a job when you got a job, right?
Yeah,
So
it is.
I mean, listen, the head JV coach, it's fine. I disagree with a lot. Like, theoretically, he plays 7 guys. I don't think you can build a program in a white suburban town playing 7 guys.
No, you have to play like 12.
You have to play 12. You have to figure out a way to play 12 guys.
Right.
You cannot sit there and like worry that the opportunity cost of playing kids 8 through 10 is so much better than kids.
No, I mean, I was talking about this the other day too. When kids get fouls with 2 fouls in the first half, I sit them, especially the first half of the season. And the reason I do that is it forces me to play more kids.
Well, that's why I like a wrecker unit that comes in of younger kids that are athletic,
right?
And they go in there and they
chaos.
They play 99 full court man, and they just get experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
we've actually you're thinking like we are. We've talked about having like units this year. Like, this is going to be our press unit. We're just going to put them in. We're going to come at you.
I'm sorry.
This is going to be our grind unit where we're going to come in and take 2 minutes off the clock, kind of thing. It's like football.
Yeah.
It's like third and long. We're going to have a third and long kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. You need a third and long type of unit, right? Because you're not going to. No one wants to sit there and bust their ass for 3 months to play 7 guys.
No.
It's.
And you're one injury or one flu bug away from being toast.
But it's not even. It's. Yes, I hear that. Like, an injury thing. It's. Do you want to get kids to challenge each other in practice? I mean, we, you know what I mean? I don't need to tell you this. We got to play like it. So
when's the interview? Tuesday?
So what have I done? I've reached out to the ex-player. I'm reaching out to, I think I'm going to have coffee with the lacrosse coach, who is world renowned in these parts for him, and just understand, like, what's the dynamic? Does he like multi-sport athletes? Does the football guy like multi-sport athletes? Do they not? Like, am I just sandwiched between two football and am I getting?
Could you call a former coach?
I think it was I think he fought the firing, so I don't think he's going to give me intel. I have no relationship with him.
Do you have anybody that can get intel?
Yeah, I mean, I think.
I'm just saying, I think you got to get his side just so you know what you're walking into.
I think I know what his side is. His side was your side. His side was they weren't good, right? I played the younger kids. I'm trying to build a program. I want to win this thing. I'm not interested in going 9-11. I want to, in 3 years, go challenge for a state, and I'm going to play 3 freshmen that are talented to do so, and that's going to come at the expense of some sophomore and juniors. They had 6 seniors, and I saw them play. Like, I get it. Like, right. The best player on the court, the best player in the school is a sophomore. He just is, right. So, I'm not happy with the fact that, like, I'm not happy with the fact that it took so long in the process. You're right. And it's the middle of September. I'm not happy that they have captains. This has been helpful.
Okay.
It's been helpful.
Okay.
I appreciate it. And you're probably right. At the end of the day, it's probably not the right job. But going through the interview process is going to give me.
Going through the interview is not bad. And maybe you might come out of the interview totally feeling good about it too. I mean, I've done that too. It's like, I don't know. It just, there's a lot of red flags from somebody that has no idea what you're talking about as far as communities and stuff go.
Yeah, this is not, this is, if parents will walk into the AD's office and like, I won't. Yes, parents will walk into the AD's.
I'm telling you, I think the most important thing is there's three things to a good job: supportive administration. So that you administrator, that's going to be there. A supportive community. You got to have a community that wants you to win. It sounds like that community is good.
They do. Yep.
Yeah. But and kids are going to work hard. You know.
So one like you would ask the AD and the principal, you know, what happens when a parent walks in the room? Like,
I mean, I would say I would play the hypothetical game with them. You know, because if someone complains, my AD is gonna send them to me first.
Yeah,
like, has the kid talked to the coach? Has the parent talked to the coach? Have the parent and the kid talked to the coach? Then it gets to the AD.
Coach, did I lose you?
Yeah. Do you hear me?
I lost you.
Can you hear me? I think I lost him. Hello? I do. I think I lost him.
Hey, Coach, so glad you enjoyed that video. Not that you found us, you already found us. Let me know how I can help. I've won lots of championships, as you can see, won lots of rings. Let me know how I can help you become a better basketball coach. Teachhoops.com is one small way. Go over and check it out above and below, and let me know how we can serve you to become a better basketball coach. Enjoy.